Like, what's going on? Like, are we are we there? Thought that shit was old and gone. Hello, Red Pill Crip. Panel's open. Hop on. Hit the link. Hit the link. Let's see. Oh, let me pin the link too. All right. While you are waiting, you should be hitting the. Oh, she's driving. Why are you guys chatting and driving? You're killing me when you do. Listen, I have a big rule, especially when it comes to driving. Do not drink and drive. Number one, big no no. Do not drink and drive. Number two, do not text and drive. And here's why. We had this unfortunate event, and it actually really, I think it's still kind of haunts my daughter, but one of her best friends died at the beginning of the school year because somebody was on their fucking phone texting and driving. Hit the boyfriend was driving, and my daughter's best friend was in the passenger seat. Uh, this vehicle hit them from behind, kicked them over into oncoming traffic, got smashed by a fucking school bus uh, with all of their peers on that fucking bus. Because no, not acceptable. Don't even do it. You said you're at a red light. Don't even do it. You get in the habit, it'll not never go away, Ella. Put it away. I love that you're in the chat, but I want you to just sit and listen. Do not text. But it was a sad, she's fucking 16 years old, amazing athlete. The boyfriend, God, he had like a bunch of surgeries too. He ended up in like shock trauma, brain swelling, his arms and shit, surgeries all over the place. It was dreadful. Like, and my daughter and her friends, I still don't think they're over it. So just know that you risk that danger of taking someone's baby, uh, taking someone's best friend, taking someone who's important to our community was shattered by it. It's like just shattered. It was heartbreaking. So please don't. I love you, Ella. I love you, Ella. Do not ever, none of you, let this be known. I love it when you're listening. Stay tuned in. That's great. That's awesome. But don't be in the chat. I would rather just you be listening. I don't need to know you're here. It's okay. Safety first. Safety first, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm going to drop the link again. I need two more. Two more to jump on panel. Or we could just shut down. I can take the money and run. Ooh, reptile culture. I'll tell you what, if, from whoever side you're watching on, if you send them $10 and retype that same question, we will add it to the panel list. Maybe I'm a reptile. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you. There you go. Lost 3 brothers in 3 weeks from distracted driving. It's heartbreaking because, and here's why it's even more heartbreaking, because it is preventable, right? It's preventable. Now, accidents happen. We know this all the time. People make mistakes, but texting and driving is preventable. And we don't have to, drinking and driving is preventable. I'm a big advocate for not drinking and driving. I just, it's preventable. You can avoid it at all costs, no matter what. So, all right, Texas Bully Mom, I think you should make your debate debut tonight. Come on up. Where the fuck is Jason at, too? He's normally like lined up backstage. Where you at, Jason? We haven't had you on panel in a while. Listen, we needed somebody to yell at Duck last night, and you weren't here to do it. You weren't here to yell at him the way that you yell at him, and we need you. We also need Ryan back. I did tag him in the thing, but we need Ryan back. Motorcycle awareness is also a really big thing. One thing I do, if oh, thank you, Mrs. Balderson. One big thing I do, because if you guys didn't know, Mama Tomato had a motorcycle for a hot while. Brum, 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 brum. This is a nice big one too. She's like, because Could you imagine, like, grandma, your grandma, right? Like my kid's grandma on a fucking motorcycle. You know, but I take caution with Weevil. Hello. Why are you laughing at people? You should probably just go away over there on whoever's side you're watching on. And then you can go suck a dick too. Because you know what? KD, Worak, whatever. You don't have the balls to start a channel and go toe to toe and have some fun and put yourself out there. You're just a pussy in the fucking chat talking shit to people who actually have the balls to do it. So fuck you. Suck a dick. All right? Yeah, come on, make your debut. Come on, you know everybody. It's peer pressure. Everybody in the chat, tell Texas Bully Mom to come do it. We are farmers. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. Anyways, Grandma, Mama Tomato had a motorcycle. She doesn't anymore. Who's that? Oh, Andrew's back. Not that Andrew. The other Andrew. The nice Andrew that we like here. He's backstage. I need one more. Un más. Un más. Just one. Just one. You can do it. One more. One more. Heed the call. Anyways, so since my mom is a motorcyclist, and I already had this awareness before as well, because I think it's very important, but anytime I'm on the highway or on a road and a motorcycle especially is in front of me, I always ensure I have full awareness of where that motorcycle goes, as long as they're within, like 4 or 5 car lengths of me. I make sure I keep them in my sight because you just don't want to, I don't know. What? Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Aw, poor baby. Well, this isn't the show for you anyways. Literally everybody up here is going to be cussing up a storm. So fuck you. All right? I don't know who you're watching from, but you're a big baby when you won't bode well here. You won't bode well. I'm sorry. Aww. I'm not going to say it. Somebody else has got to say it. Somebody else is going to say it. Yeah, exactly, Adrian. She said deck. Like, oh my God, guys. Oh my God. All right, I'm just waiting. I need one more. One more on stage. I'll drop the link again. I'll drop the link. Somebody said it. Somebody said it. There's going to be another Mater Jr. Not me. Not me. Not me. Yay! I get so excited. I get so fucking excited for babies. I've been holding this secret for so long. I'm like, God, we will just say it at some point eventually. But she said it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. Mater Nation will be accepting a little Tomato Jr. Number 4 for Mrs. Weevil. We're so excited for her. That's why she hasn't been paneling for a while, but she will be here. She will be back. We're going to get through this together. All right, guys, I just need one more. You just need one more. Who's going to do it? And that's why little Mrs. Weevil hasn't been joining lately. Everybody backstage, go call your friends. You're being held up. You are being held up. Held up. Auntie Mater. I love that. We're all Auntie Maters. I'm gonna cry. I gotta have a girl moment here. There we go. Bones. Ah, yes. Bones is here. I know what he wants to talk about tonight. All right. Fucking Letter and Kazak finally showed up. Go.
What a
Oh,
strange inversion.
inversion? What do you mean inversion?
Well, usually you're waiting on donos, not panelists.
I know. Thank you, Nicholas. I see you. If you want to go back, thank you. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome, Nicholas. I'm just gonna hit. Let's see if I can hit a mic setting to reduce background noise. I don't know if you got some wind back there. You sound like maybe you're a trucker. Are you a trucker, Nicholas?
Delivery driver, but not a trucker.
Oh, you
So-
look like you were driving or something. Maybe we get a lot of
Yeah, I got
truckers.
yeah, not a trucker, just like regular delivery, like food delivery and stuff. For DoorDash and all that.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, go ahead and we're going to mute you for now. And I'm going to say welcome to the panel for your first time. We love new people. Hopefully, we don't scare you away too quickly, but it can get chaos and crazy, and people can and will boot you to the back if you're annoying or, I don't know, say stupid shit. So they'll drop you in the back chat, and usually it's 10-minute increments, and then you get to be released back up. Now you can also, all right, maybe he lost connection. Kazak, welcome back. Bones of Doom, he's here to argue me over propaganda, so we will kick off with that one because I don't know if you're on a time limit or not.
I'm not.
And
So.
Andrew, oh, great. Well, we'll start with that one anyway since it was an easy one. Nicholas is back. Great. Ant had a crazy night the other night, fucking hauling appliances left, right, and center of his house. And now he's here for recovery mode and has a lot of aggression and anger to take out on the world because he couldn't yell at the appliances. Sasquatch, of course, is probably recovered from his drunken birthday escapade Monday night. Are you recovered now?
I hear it was wild. I wish I was there.
And of course,
I got fired from my Tuesday show because I said something, but they won't tell me what I said, so I don't really know what to do with it.
I like it. Andrew's back. He couldn't get enough of our panels. He's ready to come have some fun. And of course, Kazak can't stay away. He missed us too much. And Mrs. Balderson, you are here while Mr. Balderson, you're keeping his seat warm, but I don't know if you're going to give it up later, the topics on this list. So, but maybe we can have the dynamic duo of death later with the two of you yelling at people. It might be fun. All right, Bones of Doom. We got in a little Twitter fun recently over propaganda. Now I posted, what was it? A little video, and it was talking about what's the lady on the bus who did the
Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. Thank you so much. It's been a couple days. Rosa Parks and how she actually we were led to believe she was just this kind little lady sitting on a bus, and they asked her to move and she said, no, I'm tired, yada, yada, yada. But I saw this video on Twitter, and the guy was actually explaining how Rosa Parks actually went and rode a bunch of buses all day purposefully looking for this fight. And she actually wasn't tired. She didn't work that day. She was an activist. This was what she was searching for. Her husband owned a car, so there was no reason for her to be on a bus, yada, 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 all that fun extra jazzercise of crazy. And I think I reposted it and I said, is there anything that's like truth anymore? Are we just always going to be lied to? Like, it's starting to get on my nerves finding out that all of these things were being fed, especially in like elementary school, middle school. Black History Month would have been the kicker when we would have learned about this most likely. And it just pisses me off that we're led to believe it. Even like Martin Luther King Jr. I think I've heard the thing where he apparently had prostitutes or something like that. And he was like a sex fiend, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it pisses me off that we act like all of these people are God-send amazing people. And then come to find out they're all pieces of shit. So Bones of Doom, I'll let you open it up from there if you have some thoughts. But we got into the argument of propaganda and is it good, bad? Are there ways in which it can be good, so on and so forth? But I'll let you kick it off, sir.
Absolutely. I think you might be misspeaking about the video. I don't think John Doyle, the guy who made the video, was talking about how Rosa Parks was spending all day doing it. All he mentioned was that she was, in fact, a trained activist and that her husband had a car, and he was alleging that she could have just drove with him. But regardless of that, it's just false that she spent all day looking for a bus to kind of.
Well, he says she rode like 3 buses
refute.
before she found that one. Before that one happened.
Really? Hold on. I don't recall that being the case. I
can
could be misspeaking
bring
about
up
the
the
video.
video. Do you want to bring up the video when we can do it? I normally don't bring up videos, but this way we can keep it all kind of on point of kind of what I was referring to. Let me go pull that. Give me just a second because it's going to take me a second. But in the midst of that, if you have something on propaganda that you want to kind of feed into for now, that's fine too. While I go find this.
Yeah, even if I did grant, which I don't think it's that important, I'm just trying to figure out the detail or trying to remember the details exactly. But regardless, it's not that important because I think that propaganda in of itself is just a tool that can be used to like manipulate or otherwise like alter people's opinions. Whether it is good or bad just depends on the individual use case. And I think with the Rosa Parks situation, it is true that it is the case that Black people had to give up their seats and move either to the back of the bus or in some cases be removed from the bus. And that segregated buses and segregation in general is just bad and immoral. And so even if like some of the like external facts as to whether like she herself needed the seat, it's mostly irrelevant to the fact that like this like thing in practice was bad.
But you said one key point there, and you said manipulate. And I thought that was the most interesting part because to me, utilizing actual propaganda to manipulate the masses, right? And we see this with even something as simple as the food pyramid, right? Like, oh, you need this, 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 and this. And like, come to find out that's actually not what is actually good for us, right? It's just a way to maybe Ben could have Ben would have been good at this. Mrs. Balderson, maybe you know better. God damn it, I can't find this fucking video. But just in the masses, we're pushing certain narratives or doing this or doing that. But the key factor there is manipulation. I just want facts. I want to be able to have my own opinion and formulate that based on the facts provided. I don't want somebody to tell me what my opinion should or should not be already. So is propaganda actually beneficial to society by way of lying to us or making things appear a certain way or hiding a lot of information like by omission, so on and so forth, just for purposes of pushing a certain narrative? Now, I understand segregation bad, but if you have to manipulate the masses in order to make that work, then you're not really granting them the ability to formulate their opinions.
Well, the problem is that a lot of people already formulated their opinions on segregation at the time, just based off of like whatever they learned when they were kids, that whatever is should just be the way because it's always been that way. So I don't think that the people at the time during the civil rights movement were necessarily coming from this from a purely neutral standpoint either way. In fact, they might have been the we'll say victim in this case, but they might have been a subject to propaganda themselves on the other end, that segregation is necessary for a civil society and that it should be the way that we separate white people from Black people, et cetera, et cetera. And so like I would say that like the big difference here is that for one, it when we're talking about like the segregation itself, it's just unjust. There is no like there's no good moral reason to like be for segregation.
What's moral? Morals are personal. Tell me what your morals are. Where do your morals come from?
I mean, we can go from like multiple angles at this. Personally, like I subscribe more to
your argument. What's your morals on your argument?
Yeah, I was about to get to that. So personally, I'm more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, just got home. I'm a more of a utilitarian. in the sense that I believe that whatever provides like the most utility, in particular, I'm a rule utilitarian, in that I think that well-being should be maximized for people, and insofar as what segregation,
Are you
Hold
an
on, let me-
individualist or a group?
and insofar that,
Is that
Like,
the
I
same
apply that.
moral that the people that you're arguing for, they support that same moral?
not everyone is a rule utilitarian. There are people who are like deontologists. There are people that are
So they
What's
all
the
have
word?
different morals. So moral.
there's
moral
people that are like
subjective.
virtue ethicists. There are like on the theist side, I believe there's divine command theory, among other
So
essences,
morals are subjective.
Well, and let me preface this before we
Not
run down
necessarily.
that moral rabbit hole. Because Bones asked me, do you think propaganda is bad? But then also at one point, Bones said, well, I wouldn't necessarily tie morality or ethics to the propaganda, whether it's good or bad. So I said, well, how can you argue whether propaganda is good or bad if you don't have a morality foundation in it, right?
Okay, that's fair. But I just heard him say moral twice, so that's why I was questioning it.
I understand.
Right.
But
Right.
but yeah, basically what I'm saying is like there are multiple moral systems or ethical systems depending on what angle you take from this. My perspective isn't probably the only perspective. I think virtue ethicists and deontologists would say that theirs is objective. Divine command theorists also believe that theirs is objective, but that I don't believe that to be the case. Utilitarianism in general is subjective. It is a subjective moral framework. But to get back to Tomato's point, I'm just saying my statement was that propaganda in of itself is not like moral or immoral. Like my entire point was that it's dependent on the use case.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's neither good or bad. It's usually information from a official source, like an organization, a government, that sort of thing. It's how you use it that makes propaganda bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Propaganda
Well,
is essentially advertisement.
In what
Yeah.
in what way would propaganda be good?
Well, that would be subjective, right?
Not entirely.
Not-
though.
we've done-
Yeah, propaganda would be subjective, yes.
Well,
Not
when we
entirely though. Think about
when
it.
we did
Propaganda is to do like healthier, better.
Spread
uh,
information for official
well-
sources.
But
and
yeah, it's
organizations.
subjective.
Well,
we can all
sure.
agree on that.
I
For
think there's a
example-
difference between like spreading information as of like a kind of neutral perspective versus something that's kind of more like emotionally tied or otherwise. For example, I could say going back to like World War II, there's a lot of propaganda in America and other countries about buying war bonds, about signing up for the army, about either conserving certain types of resources or to go work for factories to help build war machines.
Would
for
you
the war.
argue that is good propaganda?
I would argue that it would be
Subjective.
good. I actually would argue that would be good propaganda.
So when they have racial epithets and things like that, would that still be good? Because that was extensively used in World War I and World War II for propaganda.
Again, it would be like a use case. I'm just saying, like talking about war bonds and signing up to like fight for your country. And for America's case,
the way we utilize it and the types of things that we say is irrelevant in the propaganda.
no. For example, I could point to, I think Dr. Seuss did some World War II propaganda that was anti-Japanese, doing like Japanese caricatures and stuff. And I would say that it's probably a really bad use case because it unnecessarily like shits on the Japanese and it contributed to anti-Japanese sentiment when we had them in like the camps in California.
That's the
and-
point of propaganda, to elicit an emotion and spread information.
That's why I say it's like based on a use case scenario. Like saying that it's good to support America in the fight against the Nazism and against the Germans. I would say insofar that would be a good thing that we did. But using that same like type of propaganda against the Japanese, and you're going specifically after like features of the Japanese and kind of painting them as like
Well, they did it to the Germans
like
as well.
evil.
This wasn't unique. This wasn't unique to one ethnicity or racial group. They did it to the Germans.
I
They called them
agree.
the Huns.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
Let me go ahead and
Just-
play this video so
Yeah, go
that
for
you
it.
understand the context. Because the way we look at propaganda and we say, oh, yeah, whether we say it's good or bad, yeah, it could be subjective. But when we're actually being lied to or manipulated, that's where I especially think, okay, you may be using it for good intentions, but you're fucking lying to people. And so this is what kind of sparred me off in this little X. Okay, so
Before you play that, let me say this: the best propaganda isn't right. The best propaganda is things that you never pick up on as propaganda. It's sold to you as entertainment, poems, books, those sort of things.
Right, like watching a movie about World War II and making everything like, oh, let's feel bad for X, Y, and Z or whatever.
Well,
Propaganda
the
is
true
subjective.
definition of propaganda is just information dissemination. Okay, and it's turned into meaning something that is to not be believed. But originally, like with Goebbels in the National Socialist Germany, he was the minister of propaganda, but that did not mean what it means now.
All right, let me go ahead and push play, and then you guys can go from there.
Day one of exposing Black history because it like literally didn't even happen. So we all know the story, right?
Oh shit! Sorry.
Do it again.
The technical issues are part of the show.
1855, Montgomery,
Nice.
Alabama. Rosa Parks, she's this tired seamstress. She refuses to give up her seat to this white guy after a long day's work because her feet hurt.
Sorry.
Well,
Send money now for a better
Gets
connection.
arrested for this, and then it sparks a bus boycott. She becomes the mother of the civil rights movement. She's now remembered as a brave hero who stood up to power. The entire thing was a planned publicity stunt from the beginning. By 1955, Rosa Parks was already like an experienced left-wing activist. She and her husband were attending Communist Party meetings. Also, her husband owned a car. So this is not even the first time this happened. Black people were getting arrested for this stuff, but the NAACP and the activists ignored them. And Rosa Parks was specifically selected as the perfect subject for this agenda. She was polite, she was employed, she was married, she was seen as somebody who would be sympathetic to white people. And actually, the Rosa Parks incident itself was actually a reproduction of a prior incident where they planned to make a different woman into this kind of figurehead, but then they found out that she got pregnant out of wedlock.
All right.
So they had to sub her out for old Rosa. What's funny too is that she actually had to ride around on a few different buses before this happened, since the rules weren't really meant for women. They weren't really
Talk about technical stupidity.
that was grade A.
enforced on female passengers.
Oh my
Also,
God.
she wasn't even exhausted. She admitted in her autobiography that she refused the seat not because she was physically tired, but because she was tired of giving in to injustice. But that wasn't her first run-in with that bus driver either. James F. Blake in 1943, Blake kicked her off the bus entirely, yet that incident got zero attention from the activists because she hadn't been chosen yet by the activists to play this role. Here's the kicker though, Montgomery law segregated buses, but it didn't actually require
Jesus Lord.
They can still kick you off the bus too, by the way.
You know
Yeah,
what?
that was staged.
Yeah,
Anyone that's
culture-
impatient right now,
there's-
just
there's
know
the-
that Rosa Parks was patient.
There's a great book called Culture of Critique, and it's written by Dr. Kevin McDonald, and he's a scholar from Berkeley, California, I believe.
That's
and
not
in
exactly a green flag for him.
Black people
In
to give
that
up
book-
seats to white people
in that
if no
book,
other
he
seats were
addresses
available.
all of
Rosa Parks
these
was sitting
Hold
in the
on.
middle
Hold
section,
on.
and she wasn't asked to move until more passengers started boarding. Basically, you had a white section, a middle section, and a black section, and the driver was trying to move the sign to expand the white section of the bus into some of the middle seats, since there were a bunch of white people about to get on the bus. And so we asked Rosa Parks and a few black guys if they would move from the middle section into the black section, since it would literally be illegal for him to tell the white passengers to go sit in the black section. So the guys were like, all right, yeah, whatever. But she went along with her plan, and so she was arrested because she wasn't listening to the bus driver. But she did not stop there at buses. She supported Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, you know, the whole kill white police officers guys. She marched in Farrakhan's Million Man March in 1995. She backed the Black Power movement, defended black rioters in the Detroit riots in 1967. She endorsed domestic terrorist groups like the Black Panthers, also the Kill White Police Officers guys, the Black Liberation Army, Weather Underground, the Bomb and Kill White People guys. Nobody knows about the history of left-wing terrorism, dude. This stuff was all going on. Despite all of that, though, she still spoke at the 1988 Democratic National Convention, hailed as a hero. Rosa Parks was a calculating revolutionary whose actions were part of this broader left-wing conspiracy, but the myth that we're all taught is designed to hide this and the radicalism that created it, so that we're taught, some feel-good narrative when we're in kindergarten. Truth matters. I love Black people.
Okay. So that was the context. Oh, I got to turn my camera back on. That was the context of the conversation and where it led into propaganda. And so my question is anything truth anymore? Are we just always being lied to? And because we're always being lied to, like, at what point do we as humans have the right to make our own educated decision? If the people were not told this kind of fluffy, fruity story, would they have still reacted the same way? Now, I understand, Bones, you're saying, well, it helps because it helped end segregation, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. I get that. But it was all based off of lies.
Yep.
So,
Well, the thing is, too, there were several...
I'd like to contend with this. Hold on. Sorry, it's not.
I got you when you're done.
Yeah, I want to
Go ahead, Bones.
if I'm being called upon, yeah, whatever. But so when I was first taught this when I was like a kid, I was not taught that it was just like a purely spontaneous thing, that it was a part of a greater movement to desegregate America.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, that Rosa Parks sat there, she refused to get up, et cetera, et cetera. And later on, when I was taking a history class in college, that she was in fact an activist, and that while there was some amount of planning insofar as that the NCAP needed some way to kind of spark a boycott of buses, similar to the situation that happened in Louisiana, where a bunch of Black people decided to carpool instead of take the bus to economically boycott the buses there.
Mm-hmm.
That the NCAP needed another thing for that. She just happened to be on the bus at that time, and she knew, based on a prior training, hey, let me see what I can do with this.
Right, but who trained her? That's the golden.
What does
$1 question.
What does it matter who trained her in this case?
Because it's very important, because you'll see the same groups involved, like what happened with Gaza, and it goes way back for actually centuries. But to keep it relevant, this has been going on. Read Culture of Critique, and in its source,
Great book.
Greatly
Critique.
that will.
So wait.
That proves beyond a shadow of a doubt who is responsible and behind all of these so-called movements.
Yeah, who's behind these movements? I'm curious. You've read the Culture.
Well, you
of
seem
Critique,
to know.
No, you seem to know.
Oh yeah,
I'm wondering.
You both know. Let's not play these games.
APAC.
Ed Volk.
Yes. APAC,
Ed Volk brought it up first, so I want you to tell me.
I brought protection.
For TOS reasons, we should move on.
Who was it?
APAC, ADL, and that whole group.
APAC. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So when McDonald was interviewed in 2020, what was the context for Jews are just going to destroy white power completely and destroy America as a white country? Why didn't he say the ADL?
As far as what?
Because the ADL is a tool in that goal and not the overall people you wielding the tool. That's why.
I'm talking about the ones that are in power.
Why did he say just Jews in general? Why did he say Jews in general?
Because people need
they're
an
the ones that have all
identifier.
the power? What's the evidence for that?
Hold on. This works out. Pardon me for just a moment, Etta. This works out a lot better when we take turns talking. Otherwise, we can't. I know you guys are saying great things, and I'd love to hear them. I do enjoy learning, but we can't hear if you're both talking at the same time. So if we could just be mindful. Go ahead, Etta.
Right. I'm
Since we're getting
naming
to that
the
area, be
ADL
careful with the
and
words.
I'm naming ADL and APAC because those organizations were the ones involved. To answer the question.
So, but why does Kevin McDonald like generalize it out to Jews then, and
Who says-
other
who
statements
says
that he
he
makes?
generalizes it. He sources. Every other sentence. He has a source. He has a source, and he proves beyond a shadow of doubt. Freud actually was in on this whole. And it's not a conspiracy or a conspiracy theory. It's actual, true, factual conspiracy.
So,
have you ever
so
read
Kevin
it?
McDonald said,
Have you
no,
read
so
it?
Kevin Mc,
Have you read the book?
read what? Wait, read what exactly?
Culture of Critique. Have you read it?
I've not read the book. I've
Okay,
read certain
well,
quotes
there
of
you
Kevin
go.
McDonald, though.
Okay,
I've
but that
read
could be
some of them.
easily taken out of context. I read it.
Yeah, I can show you like the Tablet article. He interviewed with Tablet on this.
That can
I
be
read the
used
actual book.
propaganda, misreading quotes. By the way,
Right, exactly. I mean, that's
Wait,
easy
so
to do.
wait, what's the proper reading
Let
of
me ask you a
Jews are
question.
just
I had
going to
a
destroy
question.
white power completely and destroy
No,
America as a
I-
white
the
country?
current power
What's
structure
the
is, though.
what's
Let
the
me ask you
neutral
a
reading
question.
for
Are
that?
you? Do you?
Hold up, hold up,
What's the
hold up.
non-propaganda reading for this?
Let me reset
Let me
both of
ask
you.
you a
Hold on.
question.
Fourth Wiseman comes in with a big 10, says, "Hey Sasquatch, I think you need a makeover. I'll send Sarah a hundo if you cut no less than 1 inch off beard, flat bottom it."
Don't fucking do it. No way.
Hold on.
That's not worth it.
I
Will
does
and
need
deal.
$10?
Will and deal.
No.
Will and deal. Will and deal. Sasquatch. Will and deal.
See, here's the thing. I am a damn fine specimen of a Greek god. So I'm not sure a hundo catches enough for this savagery. I mean, my
All right.
wife likes my beard. My
Hey,
girlfriend
Sasquatch,
likes
how
my beard.
about 400?
Ooh.
Hey,
I cut mine all the way off for that.
I'm
All
not
right.
going to shave.
I want to
Don't
hand
get
it
enough
back
money.
to. I'll let Sasquatch think about that, and I'll let Fourth Wiseman think about what's been proposed. Etta and Bones, I'm going to let it get kicked back to both of you.
Absolutely. So, what's the neutral reading for Jews are just going to destroy white power completely and destroy America as a white country? How's that taken out of context?
May I hop in here?
Until you
hold
read
on,
the book,
hold on.
you can't comment on it.
Oh well, no, I'm talking about his tablet interview. I'm not talking about the book.
I'm talking about his book. So until you've
Well,
read it,
well,
you're
he's
not
not. Well,
educated,
he
you're not
seems to be
informed.
generalizing to Jews in general. So,
So who's the current
why?
power structure right now?
I don't know. That's for
Are
you
you
to
familiar with
prove.
Cynthia McKinney, the ex-congresswoman Cynthia McKinney?
No, you're supposed to prove that Jews are the
Are
predominant
you
power structure,
familiar
right?
with Cynthia McKinney, the ex-congresswoman in Georgia? Yes or no?
No. How does this answer? How does this get close to answering my
Because
question?
she outed the fact that the Israel lobby forces all politicians to sign a pledge that they'll unconditionally support Israel, and if they don't, all of their funding gets dried up. You could YouTube
Wait,
it.
this is just consistent with like other lobbying organizations, though.
No, they wield all the power and influence, and it's called blackmail.
No,
like
this
the
is
Epstein
no, this is
files.
just this is
The
standard
Epstein
with
files
like
are fake?
other organizations too. You
So
do
the
this with
Epstein files are fake.
oil companies lobby in the same way, like social climate or social activists.
It's all a dirty
companies
business.
operate
but-
this way.
Right, and who owns all these companies?
Who are the primary funders of these organizations?
Correct, and the
APEC and whatnot?
NGOs.
Yeah, so
and
you
the
think they're
NGOs.
all?
No,
and
I
do you
don't
think they're a
it's
monolith?
true.
Wait, do you think
No. I
true.
think the people that are funding them are monoliths. I think
Yes,
that they work
are.
together.
Yeah,
and
what's the
orchestrate.
evidence for that?
Correct.
The evidence.
You are correct.
There is no need for evidence when motive and what you want gets played
can look
out.
it up
There's no
on-
need for evidence in
So
conspiracy.
wait, you
You
just
can look
conceded
it
that
up
there's no
online.
evidence for this. Then, so why would you?
There's
search
plenty.
into
There's
that
plenty,
evidence?
but I'm not gonna.
So why aren't you presenting it to me?
Because I'm not gonna get.
Google
I'm not gonna get Sarah's
Google
channel flagged.
Pick
This is
a
a
company.
very new.
Yeah,
This is a
thank
very.
you.
This is a
Thank you,
topic.
Ortho
that
guy.
I
can't talk
understand it's
about.
very like touchy
right,
topic,
right.
but like you can still present the
buddy,
evidence.
buddy, no, you can't. This evidence that will get presented
You
will get banned for
can't?
hate
It
speech.
will.
Can't
Yeah,
present the
it
evidence.
will.
It's too
Cancel
controversial.
on it. Yeah,
Well,
you
yes,
can
it
Google it
is.
right now if you're talking to us, Bones. Right
You,
now.
you can just make a reference to it and I'll look it up
any
real quick.
NGO, and find out who the donors are, or supporters, or creators are, and it's always the same powerful elite group. Period. Always. Every
People
time.
behind it's the people behind the rise of neo-Marxism in the country and
Absolutely.
former Marxism.
and before and World War One, before even World War One.
So let's do this, Bones.
All the
Let's-
American bankers like Schiff, he was one. I mean, this goes way back and it goes real deep, and it's always the same power group. And
I
you
got
can Google
Here
it
we're
right
gonna
now.
do.
So, well, hold on. Let's do this, Bones.
Well, I
If-
was wanting to ask Bones a quick question with segregation.
Sure. Mhm.
With segregation, I mean, I believe, there shouldn't be segregation, and I'm in agreement with you. But I was curious. Do you live in an all-black neighborhood?
No, I do live in a mixed race neighborhood though.
What percentage would you say is white?
I have no clue. I just
Well,
know
just
that
take a
my
guess,
neighbors, I just know that my neighbors, like to my left of me actually, are like predominantly like Hispanic.
Okay, but so you don't live in a predominantly black neighborhood?
I wouldn't know. I don't
Yes,
have
you
the
would.
racial
well,
demographics
if you
of the
if you
neighborhood.
I
walk
do.
out,
Okay,
well,
the
yeah,
answer is no, you don't.
yeah.
So
Well,
quick thing, quick
I don't know for certain. I just know that like most of the people I interact
would
with
know.
around here are
quick
Hispanic.
Well,
quick
there's-
argument as
go
a
ahead.
son of the South who's talked to older
I
black
have two like
folks,
black roommates. So
who's talked to older black folks. Segregation, even to older black folks in the South, wasn't all bad. Many blacks in the South will make the argument that there were more fathers in the home, there were more black-owned businesses.
Yep.
Black money stayed in the segregation, in my opinion, from my study and my reading of it, was done to destroy the
Yep.
economics for certain groups, both white and blacks, and then
Yeah.
replace them with corporations. And they've
So-
done a really good job.
Well,
It also
wasn't it-
destroyed political power.
didn't they do this in spite of segregation though? Like if we're what's that like place in Oklahoma where that got run out? Hold on.
That would be, I believe,
You
Tulsa.
talking about the all-white community?
They're starting an all-black community too. Did you guys know that?
That's in Tombsboro,
Yeah, I
Georgia.
think
Georgia had two of them. I
I
think
think
they
after the
failed.
states are wrong. So Black Wall Street and
there's a new one.
Tulsa.
There's a new black.
That would
Like I
be
think this was done like in spite of segregation, not because.
Well, you think.
You
don't know.
think, but you
No,
you
it's
don't
like, what's
know-
the-
you
what's
don't
the
know
evidence
Any
the
of
for
y'all
segregation,
grow
like,
up during those
Well,
times?
this-
But what's
Yeah.
the evidence that segregation was like a better economically for the people than
Just look at the numbers.
Look at the numbers. More men in the home, more money in
Yeah.
the pockets.
They were black families. were much
Black
better off than
families had a lower
that's
crime
like-
rate
that's
under
very vague.
segregation than white
Like, where's
people.
Okay,
the-
let me say this one more time. When we are all talking together, we literally can't hear any of you. All we hear is and you all sound like you're just sucking dicks on screen. Okay? So if you
Whoa.
want to avoid, if you would like to avoid sounding like you're all sucking dick on screen, I highly recommend you pass the talking stick and do one question, one response at a time. Okay.
You must watch a different kind of porn than me because I've never heard that sound
Did,
before.
how many of y'all grew up during segregation?
Oh God,
None of y'all?
Sasquatch, not the prawn bomb.
What is that? Shrimp?
You're being prawn bomb, Sarah. Prawn bomb.
It's an honest to God tiger prawn.
All right. I think Ortho Guy, I think you were trying to say something. I'm not sure where we landed. And I do have animated effigy hanging out backstage. He's waiting for his pass up front. You know the drill. If you want him up here, you got to get somebody else off. So back to you.
So crime rates, for instance, were lower in black communities than white communities during segregation. You had more money in those communities, more fathers. It was overall for culturally positive for them. And many blacks that I grew up around were absolutely angry about segregation ending and what it did to their communities.
And let me take a pause there. Kazak says, fuck this. I don't want to talk about this. All right, Kazak,
Well, damn.
I will leave it to you because there were
Yes, sir.
plenty of topics to choose from. So you are welcome to choose. I will read them out for you. Let's see. We've got should AI development be heavily regulated by governments? Is climate change hysteria being weaponized for control? We've got abortion, transgender, feminism, God's existence, conspiracy theories, free speech.
Let's start hey Sarah, you got a lot of topics. Let's start with the climate change and then go down from there.
AI was the first one. Is that what you wanted?
No, after that. It was
Okay,
the,
climate change. All right,
yep.
sure. Everybody still has their tinfoil hats on anyways. Is climate is climate change hysteria being weaponized for control? And this kind of, you could drop it in with the propaganda-ish, but just know it's climate change based. Is climate change hysteria being weaponized for control? Does anybody have a strong stance on this?
Got a question. Before we
Yes,
start.
I do.
How many little blue boxes is this stream going to end up with when we're done? Yeah.
Okay, so
I
for
don't
the
know. Maybe
climate-
the Jews also had something to say about this too. So
I think you actually could run that drill. So I think I've heard it before.
I'm pretty sure I've heard it too. But
my biggest question with the climate change is I'm going to jump on Mrs. Balderson and you and Mr. Balderson. You guys can ask, has climate change actually affected you guys whatsoever?
Climate change happens naturally. Everything cycles. So
Is it as bad as big government?
It's literally not what they're talking about.
well, but
Oh,
I
my
think
bad.
that's part of the propaganda that is levied against us is denying the fact that nature does go through cycles. And
It's not a denial. When we talk about climate change, they mean anthropogenic climate change. They mean climate change that is done by the things that we humans do. Everyone knows that climates change, that there are natural cycles. Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
Thank
Apparently,
you.
the world was supposed to be burned up by now, but we had like what a historic cold front that came through this January. Right or wrong?
That is weather, though. That's not exactly
Right.
climate.
You see,
Oh,
this
weather is-
goes to the
not
basic
climate.
misunderstanding
So
of basic
pollution.
sciences that people on the right have. You don't even understand where hot and cold come from.
So
It's
weather's
pollution.
not
I-
climate. So what's climate and what's weather? What's the difference as far as humans and our lifestyle goes?
It's pollution that's interrupting.
Okay, Al
Nature,
Gore. How about
basically.
someone else?
I'm not saying that there's any climate change.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
not-
go refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
You guys are good.
There are
It's
small
pollution.
nations on this earth who have had to abandon islands on the ocean because they are now underwater. The sea level change is super apparent.
Name 3
Uh,
islands lost.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
so,
gonna say,
so
when
all
are
the
they?
people that froze to death and died this year due to the cold weather, historically,
Just because the earth is warming does not mean that cold goes away. Cold on the earth is because of the tilt of the fucking planet, dude.
And
Like,
then the
seriously, you guys don't
then
even
what's the
understand where
warmth?
hot and cold come from.
then what's the
Please
warmth?
don't-
Then what's the
don't push
warmth?
me.
That's the opposite.
The warmth we're talking about on the planet is the heat that's captured in by certain particles being in the air. We know from people who study the history of the planet that if you get too much CO2, the earth heats up like an oven. If you get too much
Well,
nitrogen,
plant
the
more
earth
trees.
turns into an
CO2
ice ball.
is always
Plant more
here.
trees.
Bullshit.
Plant more trees. That's so that they could tax us on everything, and you have to buy electric
So,
cars because of the carbon. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit.
The
science.
the issue is it's
how
a
come
very
farmers
nuanced thing.
How
Look,
come farmers
Look,
still
you can
produce?
argue about what people are using the information to do to society. That's a whole different thing. But whether or not this thing actually happens, whether or not we can measure the amount of CO2 we put out into the atmosphere versus like a fucking volcano pumps out and shit like that, like we take those things into account. Like to just not accept that, having a bajillion cars on the planet adds a little bit more CO2 if we have them.
And
Like-
to blatantly
the
believe it is
billionaires of
also
the Titanic
retarded.
should have just known better because they didn't.
No,
know
it's
back
not retarded
then.
to blatantly believe something that 98% of us scientists in a particular science say. Like that's not
98
not
you're
retarded.
Wait. Even better than
Hey,
just
come on.
like consensus among scientists, or just a consensus among the
It's not,
studies.
it's not a
that-
it's not a consensus.
wait.
It's
So
not,
what do you
in
take a
fact, they're telling
consensus
us
to be?
now that we're globally cool.
They are literally bought and paid for. You guys
There's
are
no
acting like you
thing that
can't
we're
buy and
doing
pay for
going
these
So wait.
people.
So what's the evidence that the findings are invalid then? Like, because there are scientists that'll
Well,
challenge each other's,
the
views
largest
all the time.
argument
Like,
the largest argument for why climate science, as leftists put it, is that there have been a shit ton of foreign investment into these green movements, and it all seems to come from authoritarian regimes like Russia and China. The fact that Russia or China is
Propaganda.
the
You heard of
fact that
that? That's what
China
you were talking
the
about
fact
earlier.
that China is excluded and are not excluded but given exemptions from certain climate agreements, even though they are part of them. The fact that they produce solar power or solar cells and don't actually use them, they use majority of coal. There's a lot of good reasons to not believe what you're saying.
So neglecting that's a pivot. I just posted a link in chat. There are like over 86,000 studies, 99.9% of which, or 88,000 studies, 99.9% of which agree that anthropogenic climate change is true.
Sure.
So
where does their donors come from?
Like this is just a consensus of evidence, and these are all peer-reviewed studies, by the way. So
Well, peer-
what
peer-
that means
peer
is that
review is
there-
known to be
that means like fellow
extremely
climate
bought and paid for.
scientists
It's all
reviewed
bullshit.
them. They reviewed the evidence, and they confirmed that the evidence is going to be significant and useful for
They
the
have nothing
community.
to base that off of. We've only been studying this for 100 years, and the rest of
Yes,
history
we do.
has
We
not
absolutely
been
do.
studied.
We absolutely do. We've been studying the effects that humans have had with putting CO2, nitrates,
20
et
years
cetera,
ago,
into
they
the
said
atmosphere.
California would be underwater by now, and it's
Which
not.
which
It's
scientist
actually
Who said
worse.
that?
claim this?
Right?
Which
Like
ones?
you guys just say a bunch of crazy shit, and then you're like, "Yeah, but they said it." Like, who said it? How were they reputable? Was it just a fucking crazy person on the internet saying it,
Well, it was liberal, yes.
or did you just believe more right wing bullshit about the bullshit you're talking about?
And not to
Al
mention, was
Gore
this
was-
opinion like shared by
it's all
the
bullshit.
community?
The Earth
Or
is
was this just like a fringe like person making that claim?
It's
The
the
Earth
pollution that does more damage. Okay, that's
Right.
the
We
issue.
like I
It's
said,
pollution.
we can have genuine agreements on how we deal with it as far as use.
pollution and environmental destruction. That's what the issues really are. The CO2 stuff, that's all garbage.
That's it.
Okay, it's
That's
garbage,
the only
garbage
issues.
science.
Everything else is leftist propaganda. Everything
So-
else is trying to get you to use inefficient green
No, look,
energy.
look, this is somewhere where we
Right.
can agree,
all
right?
It's all
As-
left propaganda.
As a lefty, I can agree with you guys that, yeah, anyone who comes with this argument seriously can't look to individual people and say it's your fucking fault without looking at industry and shit like that first. So I think the people who try to go and change your behavior individually because of climate change, yeah, they're fucking hypocrites because they should be going after the people who actually do the thing they're saying. We can totally agree on that.
We
Well, why don't they go
definitely,
after
we
them?
definitely need to
They
be
won't go
stewards
after
of
them
the.
because of the donors.
We definitely need to be stewards of the environment and take better care of our planet, regardless of if global warming or climate change is an issue. I think that's
But
something that needs to be said
how old is
first
the
and
planet?
foremost.
Skip it.
6 billion years old, something like
6
that.
billion. So what the fuck? are we
20
gonna do
20,000
that's gonna hurt it?
years old. I am a creationist. 20,000 years old.
Oh boy.
Okay.
The Earth
Let's,
theory.
yeah, let's say
20,000.
the
Is
let's say the Earth is 4 billion. What the fuck are we gonna do that's gonna hurt it?
That's a dumb argument. Look, we've
no,
only been
it's
an
not.
industrialized society for like 130 years, right? So, like
130
we've only had
compared to
we've only had
millions or
nuclear
billions?
capabilities for like 80 years. We are
And-
not the same humans that existed 250,000
Well, no,
years
no,
ago.
even
and not,
no,
not to
even
mention this, but wait, hold on.
They're
To
killing
piggyback off of this,
animals
we
and plants and all
We're
of
the
it.
same humans that were
not
here.
carbon.
even
Hold on.
even as
hold on.
primitives.
holy shit, Fourth
Edo
Wiseman
is-
is saying some low IQ shit.
let me read the super chat, then I'll hand it to you, Etta, because I can tell you're coming in kind of low on the volume. Fourth Wiseman says with a big 10, BS. CO2 at the moment is 0.04%. CO2 can go to 0.2%, and everything will be okay. The grass, trees, and all the plants
So
will love it.
0.04, we're all dead.
He said the CO2 at the moment is 0.04%.
Carbon changes forms. We're on a carbon plane. Everything is based around carbon, and it's just amount of whether it's sequestered in the air or sequestered in the ground. If we continue to uproot trees and not plant crops, then you know what? We're not going to have carbon in the ground. It's going to be in the air. If
Well, no, the
Well,
danger
no,
is that
the-
it creates a cycle, right? Is that if we thaw out too much, then you start thawing the frozen areas in the north. Those areas start releasing methane, and then you start getting into this cycle where the glaciers melt, sea levels rise, and then the arid parts of the world, where all the deserts are, start to expand. Like that's the immediate danger.
You
there are
liberals
scenarios
I wanted to-
where
hold
everything
on,
dies,
hold on,
but that's
hold on,
real
hold
danger.
on, hold on. Hold on,
robots.
Kazak, we need to get some headphones for you. All right, I'm really going to actually read this, and then Etta is going to talk next because I already said I wanted her to talk next.
Yes,
Fourth
ma'am.
Wiseman comes up with another 10. Says, always been 20 to 30 volcanoes continually erupting. Most are under the ocean. The whole of humanity produces the same, if one average eruption in 12 months. Etta, to you, ma'am.
Well, as far as like what's available out there with these studies and what's submitted in these journal articles and all that, a lot of that stuff is controlled and paid for. And this CO2 greenhouse effect debate has been raging ever since it came out. And we're now starting to see the reasons why in which they enacted this hoax, okay, because that's what it is. And that is because they want to eventually shuttle everybody into smart cities, get everybody out of the rural areas. They want to control your movement, controlling the ability to drive because it's too expensive, or you have to buy electric vehicles, things like that. China has made billions. Okay, our government has had contracts with them, and they've basically taken all of our wealth, and so has Israel. Okay, but the bottom line is that the majority of the reason why there are species disappearing, both animal, plant, and otherwise, but the point is that it's due to the pollution of the environment, not CO2. If it's the CO2, you could plant more trees. This is not, and all of the emissions that are being given off, like in India and China, those are more acid rain. That's a lot of the pollution that is being produced. And it's not just carbon dioxide. Okay, I mean, if you really think about it, this hoax that Al Gore and all of them came up with 20 some years ago, it is actually quite ridiculous. So that's what all I wanted to say.
All right. And Kazak gifting out 20 Raging Tomato memberships. That was very thoughtful, Kazak. Kazak's in a very giving mood tonight. So thank you very much. And congratulations to all of you lucky lottery winners. Ortho, I think you said in the back that you needed to add something in.
Yeah, so to go back a little bit, where they said we're not the same humans, that may not be the best argument, because there are theories, and this goes to the environmental destruction part, where the Aboriginals actually burned down an entire continent worth of forest in their hunting activities, where they would just set fires and catch game as they ran out of the fire areas. So environmental destruction is a bigger part to the global overall weather and climate change issues than people are willing to actually take into account, because it doesn't take that many humans to destroy an environment. With industry, food necessity, that sort of things, it could end up very badly. And blaming climate change instead of that, I think, is a very bad idea.
What? That's exactly backwards. Where do you think the CO2 comes from? It comes from pollution, right?
Confusing.
It comes from a lot of places.
What is causing?
What you just described was anthropogenic climate change, or a subset of it.
So which one of you guys is going to go back to the horse-drawn cart and buggy? Which one of you guys is going to go back to growing all of your own food? Which one of you guys is going to do all those things so that you can stop relying on whatever the next newest technology that promises to be cleaner, but we've never had time to study it?
Well, electric vehicles are actually becoming cleaner. The CO2 that they emit versus their traditional cars is lower over their lifespan.
Now that they're mining the lithium and
yes, that accounts for every aspect of the manufacturing.
Also, they're developing new batteries that don't require lithium.
Well, it requires silver. They require silver. So, I mean, mining is pretty much mining.
Yes, but all of this is still like just less destructive to the environment than traditional cars.
Duck, if you are watching, sir, Kazak, for no reason other than just to torture us, has invited you to the panel officially with my second favorite color on the screen. Duck, if you are watching, please make your way to the stage, sir. And Kazak, you will need to tell me who you want to boot in order to bring up Duck, because we are at a full capacity right now. And Chuck is still hanging out backstage as well, waiting for a spot. All right.
To bring up Duck, bump the person to the left of Effigy. I forget his name.
Sasquatch?
No, the other left.
So me?
You're out there.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna use this opportunity to get more soda and bitters.
Well, if and when Duck joins the back, because I don't know if he's watching, but I know he raided over here, so he may not be jumping on. So if and when he jumps on, we will make that happen. Okay. All right.
Sorry,
back
man.
to you, Buck.
But yeah, I want to touch on an earlier point about the funding of climate science. Etta, do you have any like evidence that shows that all of these like climate focused studies are like bought and paid for by the same people?
I mean, I don't have it handy because I wasn't
like a
aware
same
of any
bent.
of the topics, but I mean, this is pretty well known.
Yeah, no worries. If you
Yeah,
if you have time, bring it up.
Okay.
Like we like you can
It's
do that
been
on your off
it
time.
has been debunked. I mean, what we're seeing as a result of it's all a result of mainly pollution, like the EVs, the electric vehicles, the pollution and what the cost of producing these batteries from China, mind you, for our
propaganda. It's all
vehicles.
bullshit,
It
man.
is all bullshit, and this whole climate change is just to tax us more so that we can't afford to move around. I mean, it's all connected, and it sounds crazy until you take the time to really look and start seeing how one issue affects the other and affects the other, and it's all directly related. But yeah, the CO2 stuff, it's all crap. It's not true. It's pollution and habitat destruction, a lot of that. Okay,
Wait,
but
that's still anthropogenic climate change, though. Pollution and habitat destruction are something that humans do. Anthropogenic climate change just refers to human-caused climate change. So what you're saying is that humans
Isn't
cause
that
climate
what
change
the
in other
whole
ways
climate
that are
change
independent
theory
from
is
CO2
based on?
increase.
Yeah,
which I
but
agree.
you're trying to
So
you're trying to mush everything together in that when
Isn't
you
that
use
what
It's all
that
in a
term.
system. It has to be thought of
because
together.
humans cause climate change. There's multiple ways that we do it. Of course.
If you start
but it's
cutting down
not-
all the trees in a place that sucks up the CO2, that affects the CO2 level in the atmosphere.
I get that, but there is no such thing as like this climate change and the whole world's going to burn up and
Well,
Wait, so
Well,
that's just
wasn't-
going to entail a
true.
contradiction then, because
Can
you
I
just said that
ask-
humans cause climate change, and
Can
I
I-
said
I'm
that they
saying
don't.
that
Can
the
I ask
reason
the
why that
question?
we're
Can I
seeing
ask
loss
the
of
question?
loss of life,
How
whether
are
it be
we?
animal or plant, is because of pollution, not because there's a rise in carbon dioxide.
Can I ask? How are we determining what climate change is? Because like when I think of climate change, I think of ice caps melting and water rising and
Thanks, Al Gore.
the
You think the same
ozone.
thing as all
Hold
of us.
on, like the ozone opening up over Africa or some crazy shit. Like
Not
that's
over
what
Africa.
I'm
It's
thinking.
the things that humans cause
it
that
even
wouldn't be
true?
considered part of the natural world without us being here, basically.
Okay,
It's
and
how we
Bones-
affect the
Oh,
world.
that's climate change
Bones
is
is-
much more than
That's-
that.
I mean, sure, but that's like the
Bullshit.
essence of it to me. It's
Pardon
like
me.
the
I,
things
No,
that
I
we
know
no.
everyone can hear me, right? Like I'm not retarded here. Everyone can hear my voice because I have tried talking multiple times in the last 5 minutes and I keep getting talked over. We all know that I shut up for the most part, but when I do have one little thing, that's your time to shut up. So everyone can hear me, correct? I'm coming in loud and clear. It's not light. I don't need to turn my volume up any higher. Okay, let's not learn a hard lesson tonight on what pisses Sarah off. Bones, Duck is backstage. I wouldn't go very far, Bones, because Duck usually doesn't make it very long. Okay, but hang
Right, but-
backstage.
Zach put $50 in, so wouldn't that just be that you need like $60 to get him out?
Bring him
Damn.
up and drop
I
bones.
tried.
Well, yes, you are right. Actually,
All right. Well,
but that doesn't mean somebody else can't be booted. They could pay 10. See,
well,
here we
of
go.
course. I just need
see-
time to both piss and get soda and bitters.
Yeah, take your time. And Andrew, you have your seats being taken as well, so you're getting kicked to the back because Chuck wants to come up. And this moves quickly. All right, people come and go very quickly backstage. So I wouldn't.
Well, what did
worry
I
about sitting
do?
back
I
there
haven't
too
even
long.
said anything yet.
That's
That might be
probably
it.
why he booted you. All right, you two are going back. Yeah, usually panel squatters get booted, and avatars are always the first hit. If you are an avatar, just know we pick on you first. All right, so Duck, you officially have a $50 credit before you can get booted again.
Say thank
So-
you, K-Zach.
Yes.
Sweet.
And Texas Bully Mom says, everybody was ready for this funky Friday stream. Glad to see so many panelists popping up. Sarah put my $10 credit towards bringing up Duck. Duck, you now have a $60 credit, sir.
Damn, Duck.
Chuck in Tennessee said, fuck this. I want a seat. I'm tired of waiting backstage. I need a spot. Sarah's boss by Andrew. Andrew, you are tucked away in the back for now until somebody else gets booted. The current order backstage is Bones of Doom, Andrew, and Asveron has just popped on. Fourth wise man in with the Big Ten says, if you're concerned about environmental change, SpaceX mini sats, I guess satellites, burn up on re-entry, releasing 30 kilograms per 66 pounds of aluminum oxides. One thousands of tons will screw the atmosphere in 15 years' time. Fact. Anybody have thoughts to add to this? That's a pretty interesting piece.
Elon Musk is just a bad guy, right? Like Elon Musk, I think he pretended like he cared about the environment, and then we realized later he really just wanted Donald Trump's permission to let him go compete in China and sell more EVs. So whatever. I loved millennials, people like me. I loved Elon Musk, man. It makes me so sad to see it, but I'm not surprised. Like, I don't know the actual science, if that's accurate, if it's 1% accurate, if it's 100% accurate or inaccurate. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised.
So Doug, pretty much what you're saying is all that global warming shit is for the birds.
I wouldn't worry too much about it
The
because
opposite.
Elon Musk and
way.
Bezos, they're going to be
Dude,
using.
I'm insane about that stuff.
They're going to
Well,
be.
how come we're still alive right now? Because apparently, when it comes to global warming and all that stuff, we should be like sucking air like fish out of the water right now.
They're going to
And
be
we're
using
not.
the carbon dioxide, the extra carbon
Time
dioxide.
scale,
as
man. It's not a
fuel.
short-term problem.
Oh, well, that's not what Al Gore and the Dems said back, 20 years ago?
It sort of
It goes
is.
way back
or
way further. This is
They just
we've been studying this since the 1950s.
really
dude.
screwed up the time.
Okay, and well, obviously,
And to be
elaborate.
honest,
what do you
what
mean
they're
you've been
trying to
studying
do
this
is
since
warn you about the
1950s with,
future, the
global
far
warming?
future, not just
Yeah.
like recent events and occurrences. The recent events and occurrences are the
No, it hasn't
problem
been since the
that they're
50s,
trying to
bro.
give you a
Stop.
prediction of, but they go too far. They use too bombastic a language. It's not as intense
been?
as they say it is in effect, because it's like a snowball that rolls up and gets bigger and worse as the process goes along. It's called
I mean,
a
it's
self.
the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that. It's broken international government in like all around the world, right? Like there's places in Africa that literally don't have any avenues to go to fix like social problems. If you didn't have water, Squatch, what would you actually do if you don't have water?
Live in
You
the
don't know
swamp,
if you're gonna
bro.
have water next year, dude.
Duck, you can't come at me with the African problems. You can't do that.
Yeah, because that's what it's not an African problem. It's a global. It's
I
like
mean-
100% a global warming problem. And so when you actually track this to human events, right? You track this to factories or whatever it is. I mean, like, are you seriously asking people to, like, instead of
Show me
like
proof
not
that-
being an
that-
extremist, but do you understand that we could be talking about productive solutions or something instead of this?
Well,
They
we
don't
have a good
know what's
solution. So
going on.
Sarah, did my last
show
super
me
chat go
proof,
through?
Duck.
Yeah, I got it.
that-
I'm just
Okay.
waiting for Azvaroon to. Azvaroon, Chuck
Oh,
wants to bring you up, but he says you need to pick who you would like to boot for your seat.
Is Duck immune?
And I
Don't
screwed
boot
up the
me.
spelling of his name.
Duck has a $60 credit, so
Duck didn't follow up with his end of the bargain by getting a kazoo, so he should be bootable until he gets a kazoo.
And I
he's
love
only
arguing.
he's only allowed up because Kazak paid for him to be up.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
because I
he
love
would've been
arguing with them.
I worked.
Because
You
Duck
guys
is
are
always
talking about
wrong.
gases and all that. I worked at a steel mill, and we spent millions. I mean, millions of dollars. Because I can remember when I first. Go ahead.
Chuck,
What?
as I knew Azrun was not gonna. He's too kind. You're gonna have to pick someone to boot.
I got to pick. Oh, Jesus Christ. Make me the bad guy. Eeny, meeny, miny, and mo.
Oh,
Efferon. Effigy. Whatever his name is. Effigy.
All right. Effigy. to the back.
Efferon.
There you go.
I thought it
no.
said K8.
I love
What the
Asperoon.
fuck? Maybe I'm retarded. I don't know.
As Varun, I'd like to issue the only apology I've ever issued from a roast. You had no idea what was going on Monday.
Well.
None of that should have happened to you, sir.
I-
You were an innocent soul.
He's almost the
actually
nicest guy I
reviewed-
know.
We reviewed that short last night. Samuel sends in the big 20, says climates change all on their own. A static climate is a dead climate. Ooh. Any thoughts on that?
Balance. Nature seeks balance. If it gets too hot over here, it'll get cold over there to balance it out. It's not always that simple. Does that mean that it's not going to be really, really damaged over here where you're polluting the hell out of your land? It's
Did you see the latest study where plankton is the result of causes ice ages? They absorb the CO2.
Yes, I knew they do that.
This is such a deeply, it's so hard to have the conversation about this because we're talking about so many variables that are being altered simultaneously that, like, when you strip cut a place in Alabama, it changes the amount of watershed that goes into the Mississippi River or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there are huge numbers at work here, and we're trying to deal with it over a time span of, we'll call it 400 years for decent documentation. And we're trying to predict out 15,000 years for whatever reason. And the predictions over the next 200 years involve so many variables that they self-feedback loop out of control almost immediately. I mean, after all, the polar bears are supposed to be extinct, and the Northwest Passage is supposed to be open. That was 2012.
Fourth Wiseman says,
supposed to?
Fourth Wiseman says aluminum oxides from SpaceX mini satellites. What it does is it's a heavy, buoyant element that pulls atmosphere itself lower and densifies remainder, not allowing proper filtration permeation to occur. Who the fuck can translate that for me?
I disagree.
Burnham will translate that because he's a Indian genius.
I'm not a genius. I have many flaws in me, but I'll try to answer this global warming theory.
Go ahead, Azrun.
No, regarding global warming, there was a scientist actually called John Coleman. He was on Fox News, and he was a scientist. He knew about the weather very well. So John Coleman, he gave a history about global warming as to how it was created and how Al Gore used it to manipulate things so that he could sell his pollution-free technology for a lot of money. So what happened was that there was a scientist called Roger Rivelli. Roger Rivelli was an oceanographer. He used to also study the effects of population increase on the environment. So he actually came up with this theory. He said that the population increase of human beings will lead to the damage of environment by the release of fossil fuels in gaseous form into the atmosphere. He was talking about carbon dioxide and the impact of human population. Then what happened was that Al Gore, who heard this in college, became fascinated with this theory and started propagating it. But he was not a science student, Al Gore. He was more into commerce. So then what happened was that Roger Rivelli, somewhere in the 2000s, he said that he made a mistake with regards to global warming. He was the one who created global warming as a theory, and then he made a mistake. He started speaking against it. I might have been wrong about this whole thing. As far as global warming is concerned, there's been no scientific evidence presented in the UN, but it's been more of a political issue. That's what he said. And then Al Gore ditched Roger Rivelli, saying that because of old age, he's become senile. So even I too don't actually know whether to believe in global warming or not, because the man who started this theory is now speaking against it, but he's passed away right now. And he actually gave some good points as to why it may not be true. So we don't know whether global warming is true or not. And Al Gore said that the polar bears are going to become extinct in the Arctic and the Antarctic poles. But then what happened was that when he went to actually take a picture of one of the polar bears, he thought that Al Gore and his crew were food. It came rushing towards him. He took the photo and he lied, saying that they're going to become extinct. But the population of the polar bears has actually increased, they say, in the Arctic and Antarctic poles. So we don't know actually. Global warming it's hanging on a thread, to be honest.
Okay.
There's no polar bears in Antarctica.
Wow, that's a
Who
big
here
claim.
actually followed that? Who here actually heard all that.
I mean,
John
heard
Coleman.
it.
John
Algorithm
Coleman is a
collective, right?
scientist.
I heard
In,
algorithms
he used to be a
collective, and
scientist
you have to
in
understand.
Fox News. Then he
Efren,
retired. Then
long
he actually made
story
this whole
short,
thing. Actually, he showed how global warming came into existence. John Coleman, he also passed
fuck
away.
me in the
I've
ass.
seen many of his shows.
Got him going.
So, like after taking him into consideration, he was a scientist too, right? So he said that global warming may be false. It may be more political rather than scientific, because the evidence against global warming was also pretty strong in his views. So even I'm a bit confused right now, actually.
All right,
Well,
so
no,
everybody
you are
hold
correct.
on for a
Absolutely correct.
second.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Kazak, do you have anything you wanted to do with this 20? Are you booting anyone?
Well, if I can, I don't want to boot Afrin. I like him, even though he is very long-winded.
I
give
can
it
step
to
out
you.
for a while. I'll
Are you
step
talking
out
about
for a while.
Asvarun? No, you're fine, Etta. You
No,
don't leave
I'll
until you get
I'll
booted.
give it to you, Sarah. You pick someone.
Oh shit.
I
That's
never
bullshit.
pick.
That's
Mrs.
bullshit.
Mrs. Balderson, who would you like to boot from the
All
panel?
right, Ida.
Actually, I was just going to say you can feel free to put me in the back for the moment. I need to get up and change a little part of dinner, so put me in the back for now. Bring somebody
All right.
else.
Ms. Balderson, do you like? I have a question before she goes. Oh, I was going to ask
Be
if you like
gone.
banana bread.
All right, now hold
I was
on,
gonna
hold
ask if
on,
you like banana bread,
hold
sorry.
on, Doc, shut the fuck up. All right, stand by for a second. All right, and backstage I've got Andrew, Effigy, and Anson. Anson's made his way back to the panels lately. I'm super excited you're back in the area. James sends a big 10, says climate change is still a thing. I thought the World Economic Forum boys said it wasn't a thing anymore because they want their AI data centers and they take a ton of power to operate. If it wants to respond to this, I'll give you a total of 3 minutes to kick back on this one because I think this is a big deal.
So the claim that AI data
I
centers
think
are like
climate change
actually like a
is
big
bullshit, and I think it's literally a way to control the middle class's pockets. So
All right.
sorry,
that's
my view.
crazy. But
Go ahead, Bones.
But yeah, climate change. So AI data centers, as it stands currently, do not take up a vast majority of the power in any sense. They actually contribute a very small amount to climate change relative to other things. I believe the amount of power usage is less than, like
200
average
megawatt.
God damn it! Would you let somebody finish their fucking sentence before you start fucking talking? Bones, please finish. Thank you.
So I believe that AI data centers consume less power or less water than the American faucets dripping from the fact that they're not completely sealed, and the amount of power usage that they consume is fairly low as well. The bigger issue is probably more the land that they take up and local strain on power grids, if anything. But broadly speaking, no, they aren't that harmful to the environment.
Waste heat. The whole purpose of the power centers is to cool the GPUs and CPUs they use, and you haven't taken into account the waste heat directly produced by their use.
And how are they going to
how
produce
much
the
of that is a
energy
factor?
needed to? How are they going to produce the energy needed to power these AI centers?
I mean, that's more on the production side. That could be anywhere from nuclear power plant facilities, hydroelectric, coal plants, et cetera, et cetera. So, it just depends on how on the mixture of power that's being produced.
And what kind of emissions are they going to produce?
If I'm mistaken, natural gas, coal, they produce their own chemicals.
What are the emissions that they produce?
I mean, do you want the exact mixture or what?
Well, I mean, that's what we're talking about as far as the CO2, the sky is falling. Well, these AI centers need some kind of power, right, to run it. And I think that's what the
geographical,
person,
like in Arizona.
that's what that's what the person in the chat was pointing out to you, is that, well, yeah, these gigantic centers that they're using, something's got to power it. So they're going to increase the CO2 level. The sky is falling even more. Oh, and by the way, there's
but at a lesser rate than other
Oh, really?
Think
As proven
think
by
about
what?
charging
source?
stations
I mean, I
run
can
by
pull up
diesel
some
generators.
stuff. Hold
Would you,
on.
yeah, I would like to know what kind of these AI centers, what kind of power they're gonna use, and what are the
Yeah, give me 1
emissions,
second.
and what are the yeah, because they don't have them yet, so it's impossible to find. But
It
think of
depends on
what
where
I
they're
think that's what the commenter was
will
making
determine
the
what
point
power
on.
source they use. If they're built
Yeah.
near nuclear, you can almost guarantee they'll reroute nuclear because they can stage up and down those
Yes,
reactors.
true. I
easier,
understand
cheaper
that,
than
but
anything
there's still going to be a lot of pollution and waste as a result of that. Now, is it going to be the pollution that's going to kill off, say, the you know, the environment and the trees and this and that, which will further compound the problem of this CO2 emission stuff. And then they're going to turn around and say, "Oh, well, you guys can't buy cars anymore because it's all the cars." Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a way to.
Yeah,
impact
I
the
get it. I
economy and
see it as a
control.
big move to the 15-minute cities and trying to
Sure,
kind
yeah,
of
absolutely.
thin people out in one area and then put
Correct.
them in another.
Right.
But
I'm gonna-
here's the thing about
There
that.
was a couple years
There
ago. This
is
is really important.
not-
A couple years ago, Facebook and Microsoft opened data centers in Arizona, and so if you go to the Phoenix Valley, we have an abundance of the ability to produce solar if you have the right equipment, which we do, as it turns out. And then you can also do hydroelectric power. We have this big dam in Arizona that produces a ton of hydroelectric energy, and so it was supposed to be the case that Facebook and Microsoft invested in the environment. So they're going to create jobs and invest in the sustainable energy grid, their ability to produce sustainable energy at these data centers. And it's still sort of yet to operate, right? And so there's not a lot of ability to see into these big sort of energy problems that do exist. And it's still sort of yet to if that makes sense, right? And so there's not a lot of ability to
And
Go
if I
ahead.
could piggyback off of this real quick, I posted an article in the private chat that we have regarding water consumption and power consumption relative to other activities. Guess how much water leaks out of pipes in one day?
How much?
Like roughly speaking, like 11, 12-ish thousand gallons of water a day from leaking pipes. And then for ChatGPT, the amount of water that's used daily to do all global queries is like barely any, like maybe 100 gallons a day.
Did you say Chat GPT?
Yes, ChatGPT. So I'm
No,
talking
you can't go
OpenAI's
by
biggest-
that.
Why not? OpenAI is the biggest company in the world. He's saying
It's biased. You
Right.
get flawed
Exactly.
results. You get flawed results.
Wait, so do you think that there's other sources that would like not corroborate with this by orders of magnitude?
Well, here's the problem I have. These data centers draw about 250 megawatts of power. Okay.
Mhm.
That creates a lot of heat that has to be dissipated. That's what we were trying to get at earlier. You can't just hand wave that away. It's got to be.
I did not hand wave it away.
Okay, but that's
I asked you
pollution.
directly how much
pollution is a
how
thing.
much heat that generates relative to other activities.
I don't have the calculation off the top of my head, but
So
you
then
can-
how- so
you
then
can
how do I
take
know
200
whether it's
you can take 200 watts and you can calculate how much heat that will generate. Like
Yeah, so how do I know whether like that's going to be significant when compared to the
don't
other
think 200 megawatts drawn of electricity is not going to generate a
I
ton
mean,
of
you
heat.
you can't tell me, so I have no
I
clue.
want to say
Oh, I'm
words.
sorry, I don't have the calculation right
Sure.
for a year. I'll look it up
I
for
think
you.
my air
well, you
conditioner
said that
would require more than that. I don't think.
But
that's
you're
an
the one who's
accurate
bringing
number.
up the.
I just don't.
Here,
think
you're the
I'll
one who's
tell
bringing
you.
up
It's like
heat
you want to be a baby about it.
dissipation.
I'll look it up for you.
No, I'm asking you to provide evidence for your source here or for your claim here.
Basic physics.
If you get, if you're,
Come
no,
on.
if you're getting
There are
asked
so many
about
words
this,
to be
I'm like, that's on
described.
you. I'm not. I'm just asking for
Where's
the
your
evidence.
source?
I gave my source in the private chat.
And how much power would it take for ChatGPT right now? I mean, they're talking about huge AI data centers that we don't even have any clue of how big they're actually going to be. They're pumping billions of dollars into this. It's going to be enormous. You don't have any. Nobody has any idea quite yet.
I can look
Well,
for sources on how much
several towns-
electricity it's projected to make. or
Several
projected to
towns in
use.
the U.S. have already been screwed over when it comes to electricity and water usage. So they're massively pushing back on building any new ones in the U.S.
I agree that bigger issues with local communities rather than just as an aggregate on the earth.
I mean, just in general, wouldn't it be more intelligent to build these things in cold environments rather than deserts? Like, say, I don't know, Greenland, where they have a little bit of.
It just depends on what cooling solutions you're going to be using for a given place.
I get that.
It could be the case that.
Hold on.
Like
I was
it could
thinking
be the
more
case that like Antarctic weather would be,
I
or
hear what you're
Antarctic
saying,
conditions would be.
but allow me to finish. I was
Why do you
thinking
think we want to buy Greenland?
lines of the
The North
geothermal
American
availability.
Union, actually, it's the North
in those
American
areas.
Union. Looked at it's been around since the 60s.
I don't think you can build for economic purposes in Antarctica. I think it's against the treaty there.
Oh, really?
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure that.
Is this another topic change, Sarah?
We're getting there in just a second.
Okay.
What we're doing is I have officially opened up the gauntlet. If you already know where you're going, please make your way over. Otherwise, I'm going to shut down over on the tomato side here in about a minute. And you can catch the raid on the way over to the gauntlet. We hit that 2-hour mark. At the 2-hour mark, we moved into total, stupid place. Because y'all start getting crazy after that point. And then I also want to say Kazak gave the next topic shift. Kazak, I can start reading them off again. And you can just pick which one. If you, I'm assuming you want to make the choice, Kazak, right?
Make it a little more floody, Kazak.
Man down.
Kazak, are you with us?
Can
You're
you
muted, buddy. I don't know if you know that.
Can you explain what the gauntlet thing is again? I'm still new.
The gauntlet is my other channel, and it's kind of like an after hours.
I know your gauntlet.
So we do 2 hours here, and then we move over to the gauntlet. And there's a lot of reasons why I do that, but it's considered an after hours. It's like if you know, you know. All right, Kazak, are you with us now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
We've got AI, abortion, transgender, feminism, God's existence, conspiracy theories, free speech, social media platforms.
Let's go transgender, and then the next topic, conspiracies.
Okay.
Damn.
Should transgender women compete in women's sports?
Absolutely
Oh, hell
not.
no.
No.
I thought it was going to be transgender in general.
Does anybody, let me ask, does anybody on the panel believe transgender women should compete in women's sports? If you don't, just shut up for a minute.
Yes,
If
with
you
heavy
do-
caveats.
Okay, Bones is in, Duck's in. Anybody else?
I knew Duck would be that stupid fuck. Let's see what Duck says.
I got a question.
I love him
Mhm.
though.
I don't, and I'm still confused. Is a transgender girl or woman a guy wants to be a woman or one wants to be a guy?
A guy that
It would be a male to female trans
Yeah.
woman.
Thank you.
So a transgender woman is actually a person with a penis.
Right.
Yes.
Sure, for all intents and purposes, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Essentially. And please allow me to reiterate to everyone watching on the Raging Tomato on YouTube, I'm shutting you down over here. Please make your way over to the Gauntlet at the Gauntlet Debate. I'm dropping the link in the chat now, or catch the raid. We will see you over there. Also, I still have in the background, I've got Effigy hanging out. I've got, Anson just left. And then Mistress Balderson is making dinner for her darling
Was
husband.
Anson in the back that whole time, Sarah? Was he?
He
just in the
was.
back and he just dropped. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
he literally just dropped.
Sad.
So
Speaking of transgender, yeah.
hold on. What's that, Etta?
I'm gonna have to step out for a while, but I will be back.
Okay.
But as far as transgender, you could be male to female or female to male, just technically speaking. But
Well, she's talking about the sport going into female.
You can have female to male, but usually you don't see that because females are at a huge disadvantage, or biological females. So, but
Well, they have to
Also, Sarah, come
Pull
on.
them apart. What do you mean?
You guys are focusing on the wrong stuff, right? It's like the government shouldn't be involved in deciding what sports teams people form in the U.S. And the most obvious example of this is that the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, NASCAR, and
You know what Title IX is, right?
they've all
And the
been
purpose of Title IX.
The government should definitely regulate.
has
I gotta
nothing
come
to do
back.
with
Hold
transgender.
on. Etta, are you heading out?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to head out for a little bit, but I'll be back. But
Okay.
Title IX, there's a reason why we have Title IX, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
All
women.
right, I'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
All of
government.
you guys would have been voting for Ron Paul
Sorry,
like
go.
5 years ago, and now that Daddy Trump's president, it's like all of a sudden the
Ooh,
government has to
Daddy
ban
Trump.
scary transports.
Well, no,
right?
it's not that they're
For what reason?
scary. It's the government should regulate dangerous and expensive surgeries.
Okay, so that's a different topic.
Wait, this is already regulated by like HIPAA laws, by the fact that that these surgeries have to go through like intensive medical scrutiny before they're put into practice by surgeons. Like what are you referring to here? Also,
So
this is just
you're
a red
talking
herring
about
to the
mental
transports
health
issue, but
issue.
that's a different thing.
What,
Yeah, and
what
acute-
about
and
the
acute
fact? What
mental
about the
illness,
fact?
right?
Hold on. Let's first start with transgenders in sports. We actually would not see the issue of if it's a woman transgendering to a man and trying to play in men's sports, because women are allowed in men's sports, right? They don't go into it often because it's stupid. But they are. There's no, like, if I wanted to go try out for the NFL right now, they would allow me to do it. However, men are banned from women's sports. The reason why is you're all significantly better than us at fucking everything, which is fine, but it doesn't work out if you come and try and play in our league. It would be like putting a 16-year-old athlete in a 5-year-old league. You just don't do it. Okay?
I wrestled a girl once, Sarah. I wrestled a girl in high school. There was no problem. I think I pinned her in the second round. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I almost broke some kid's neck when I was in wrestling. I also got my butt kicked.
Doc,
Yep.
stay on point. I also do have backstage. Mrs. Balderson is still making dinner, so she's fine hanging out back there. But Ella, the lovely Ella, is back there. Gentlemen, if you'd like to hear a lovely lady's voice, you know what to do.
You mean besides you?
I have a
Besides
proposition to fix all
me,
of
but
it.
I'm probably just yelling at everyone. Go ahead, Sasquatch.
We create a human league where all comers can do whatever they like. All the juice
comers?
they want, all of the testosterone they want, everything goes. You can blood dope, you can do the whole nine, right?
Oh Lord.
This is to achieve maximum human capability. Doesn't matter if you're a man, a woman, as long as you're not a chimpanzee or a Sasquatch, you can compete. That way, anyone doing anything in any weird direction has a league to go do whatever they want to do.
That just sounds like men's sports with more drugs.
Okay, you might be right, okay, but I still want to see it.
Well, no,
I
no,
mean,
yeah, no.
We should do this right before we bring back the gladiatorial arena.
We should do that.
Just out
Bringing
there,
back
OG.
the gladiatorial arena.
Chuck, were you saying something?
Oh, I was telling OG to put his chest out there and say it.
Mm.
But
Shut
yeah,
up.
I will say that you put a man into a woman's sport, you totally decimated the woman's sport. You made a mockery of it because everybody knows, I'm sorry, biology does exist. Men are stronger than women. So if you allow them to compete, even though they say their wee-wee is hidden and it don't count, they still overtake the sport. Therefore, you take away any drive that a
like female
female would have.
misunderstanding of the whole thing. This is every conversation on this topic. Every single one. Like, you don't even understand that they're taking a drug that actually physiologically changes their body as well. A transitioner to a woman is going to lose a shitload of muscle mass.
Female.
So that's actually a question from the
transition to a man is taking a shitload of testosterone, so they're going to gain a lot of
you-
muscle mass. Like, our bodies are flexible in this sense. This is how this entire process is even possible.
Let me ask you this. Number one, Iotin gifting out 5 channel memberships. A shout out to our lovely Iotin for gifting the gift that keeps on giving. And Chuck says, I may pay to kick anyone who's off cam. So all of you avatars, be warned. Texas Bully Mom says, please give this to the Baldersons. Their super chat button isn't showing up on my end. Texas Bully Mom, this is the one time I will make this exception, and I will ensure to super chat over on the Balderson side if I can get over there and give me a moment to do it. But I will make this one exception. But just so you know, I pay 30% of that super chat, and then I get taxed on it too. So this is the one time I'll make that exception, only because the Baldersons are sweet and kind and always here, and it doesn't bother me to send them money. Okay. Sarcastic Saint says, okay, I'm going to do Mama a favor by booting Duck since aspirin isn't available and neither is alcohol. If we had those two available, I could tolerate Duck, but since they aren't, Duck, say bye-bye. Duck can't say bye-bye, not yet, because Kazak gave him 50 and then another person gave him another 10. So he has a $60 credit, which just dropped down to only 50. So if everyone pitches in 5 or everyone pitches in 10, 5 of you very nice people out there, or one person sends 50, we can all grant Mama's wish. Okay. It's the Make-A-Wish Fund for Mama to boot Duck.
Oh, is that your mama?
Sarah, would you say, is it fair to say I have superpowers right now, or like on a scale of 1 to Magneto, where am I exactly?
You're just annoying. All right.
Your superpower was annoying.
I want to kick it over to, I think, who was Effigy? You were